Who are the top 5 outfield prospects entering next season? Find out on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Monday, December 23rd. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all. Our gift to you is Scott's top 5 outfield prospects. Starting with number 5, Charlie Condon of the Rockies, 21 years old, 3rd overall pick in this year's draft. Scott, top-end power upside, massive power, some sneaky speed as well. Struggled in his debut at high A, but it was such a small sample size. It feels like you are still pretty confident here in Charlie Condon.
Well, I don't know if confidence the right word, just willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he comes with such a high pedigree, historic power production at the University of Georgia, and just tremendous power upside, as you said, highly decorated college player. And yeah, it was a terrible pro debut, but he started out at high A, pretty aggressive promotion. He was apparently dealing with a hand injury for some of that time. He still crushed fastballs, and apparently that's what Charlie Condon is most known for, which, you know, as he reaches the upper levels, gets into the majors, he's going to see fewer fastballs, more breaking balls, but he's going to Coors Field where a lot of those breaking balls get flattened out, so it may be a perfect match for him. Need to see some production here in his first full professional season, though.
All right, your number 4 outfield prospect is Walker Jenkins with the Twins, 19 years old, first-round pick in 2023, 6'3", big body, could be a 5-category contributor, Scott. We haven't seen huge numbers in the minors yet, but everybody seems to think those are coming.
Yeah, everybody. He is as highly regarded as a prospect can be. In fact, Walker Jenkins, I think, is in discussion to be the top overall prospect. In a year where there's not like a clear consensus number 1, Jenkins is part of that discussion. The power production hasn't been there in the minors, but he played across 4 levels last year, had more walks than strikeouts across those 4 levels, reaching AA. I believe he was still 19 when he did that. So just that in and of itself is so impressive and says a lot about Walker Jenkins' upside. He just needs to start figuring out how to get the ball over the fence, but the scouting reports seem pretty optimistic that he will.
All right, Scott, your top 3 outfield prospects all should contribute at some point in 2025. Jasson Dominguez with the Yankees is number 3, and it should be, hopefully, time to unleash the Martian. He's turning 22 in February. He played 18 games with the Yankees last season. We've heard about him forever. There's power, there's speed potential, and given the state of the current Yankees roster, it feels like he is going to play a lot entering next season. Scott, your thoughts on Jasson Dominguez?
Yeah, it sounds like he will. Brian Cashman seems to be talking him up as a key piece for the Yankees next year after losing Juan Soto to the Mets. Maybe some of that's PR, but normally teams don't like to hand top prospects jobs ahead of time. They really want them to earn it first. It sounds like the Yankees think Dominguez is ready. And look, minor league numbers, he's done everything you could want him to do down there. Hit for average with high zone contact rates. The power production is big. The stolen base production, very good. Good plate discipline. His return to the majors this year, remember he had that 8-game stretch in 2023 where he looked just like a world beater. Not as effective in his return to the majors this year, but again, nothing left to accomplish in the minors, and just ton of upside for Jasson Dominguez.
Number 2 outfield prospect is Dylan Cruz with the Nationals, who played 31 games with them last season. He only hit 218, got 3 home runs, 12 steals in 31 games. Very interesting. The Nationals were so aggressive on the base paths. I would expect that to be the case again entering next season. Dylan Cruz going just ahead of Jasson Dominguez for redraft leagues. I know you like him here, long term. Do you like him more for next season as well?
It's a little less clear what Dylan Cruz' upside is. He has the great pedigree as a very recent number 2 overall pick. But in addition to that, you look at in the minors this year, the exit velocity readings were great. The plate discipline numbers, zone contact rate, all of that looked good. It's just the production was a little underwhelming. The Nationals decided that those underlying numbers reflected Dylan Cruz's readiness rather than the actual production. So they called him up. He didn't hit all that well, but you mentioned the 12 steals in just 31 games. That is such an incredible rate. It tells you Cruz is going to be aggressive on the bases, and I think it gives him such a high floor for fantasy that even if it takes him a while to figure out the hitting, even if he's just a decent hitter with all those steals, he's going to be an impactful player for fantasy. So Dylan Cruz, number 2 for me.
And your number 1 outfield prospect is Roman Anthony of the Red Sox, arguably the top prospect in all of baseball. He's only 20 years old, and we saw him put up stats across the board. 291, 18 home runs, 21 steals in the minors. He got up to 35 games at AAA, and it seems like we could see him pretty early on in 2025. Your thoughts on Roman Anthony?
Yeah, it seems like Roman Anthony turned the corner. The evaluators loved him because he had those great underlying skills, really stood out for how much he walked and how hard he hit the ball, just wasn't actualizing it for big power production. But that seemed to change in the Future Skills Showcase during All-Star Weekend, the first annual one. He put on a gaudy power display, won the competition, and thereafter Roman Anthony in 52 minor league games hit 353 with 8 home runs and a 1022 OPS. So he seemed to figure it out, and I expect he'll be up with the Red Sox at some point in the first half this upcoming season.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again on Thursday. Bye-bye.